Point slope form. This is another form that we can use to graph a line, identify a line, using, I'll give you a guess, but it's a point on the line and the slope of the line. So, so far we know we can write an equation line. We know its slope and its y-intercept. That's our slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. But we can also write that if we know a slope and a point on the line. That's why we have the point slope form. Okay? So we're thinking of this, again, we're going to say m is equal to our slope. Okay? And then also we'll look at, we have to have a point, so we're going to have x sub 1, y sub 1 as a point on the line. Okay, so we know if we have something like another point on that line. So we have x1, y1, x sub 1, y1, y sub 1 as a point on that line. If we have another point, xy per se, we know that we can say y minus y1 over x minus x1 is equal to m, or our slope. This is how we calculate slope. We talked about that a few videos ago. So if we multiply both sides, if we want to clear this fraction, we multiply both sides by x minus x sub 1. So we'd have x minus x1 times y minus y1 over x minus x1. and when we do this, these things kind of cancel out, and what we're left with would be y minus y1 here. Okay? So if we think about this, we can think about this and say y minus y1 is equal to, right? Now we want to look at this and say, okay, we're going to multiply our slope by x minus x sub 1. Okay. Now this is the point slope format. Should really do this in a red. Put it up here. Y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x sub 1. So what does this mean for us? Okay. Well, what it means is if we have, let's say we have a slope of -1, and it passes through a point, the line does. The point is equal to, 2, 3. So we have a slope, we have a point. What we can do is, because we have a slope and a point, we can use the point slope form. Now in this case, what we're going to say is, we have a point here, remember this is our x sub 1, y sub 1. So what we want to say is y minus our y sub 1 is 3. So y minus 3 is equal to, here's our slope, -1, multiplied by x minus x1 is 2. So now if we distribute here on the right hand side, y minus 3 is equal to -x plus 2. And now if we add 3 to both sides, y equals -x plus 5. Look at what we have. We have just went from point slope when solving that. We go into slope intercept here. So we kind of work through here and get to a point where we're seeing this. So we use point slope, we get through here. And what if we want to take this and put this in standard form? Well, so we want to put it in standard form, and the standard form is ax plus by equals c. So if we're looking at that, we would say, okay, if we want to bring that x over, we're going x plus y equals 5. There's our standard form. So the funny thing about point slope is when we get something in point slope form, if we work through it, we automatically get the slope intercept. And if we get the slope intercept, we ought to be able to get into standard form. Okay? Now let's look at another example here. Let's say we have let's say we have a line that passes through, let's say 1, 6, and -2, -4. Right? And if we want to write this equation in slope-intercept form, we can use point slope to get there. So when we look at this, we can use these 2 points, to find the slope of the line. So remember, that's the change in y over the change in x, or we could say this is y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So if we use the values we have here, we have -4 minus 6 over -2 minus 1. -4 minus 6 is -10. -2 minus 1 is -3. These negatives would cancel out. Our slope would be 10/3. Okay? So we have a slope. Well, now when you have a slope, we can use either one of these points to figure out the slope-intercept of the line. Because if we do it in point slope and we work through it, we'll get to slope-intercept. So let's use this 1, 6. Okay. So what we're going to say is, remember, this is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So our y stays, y is y. y1 is our y value here, which is 6. y put an equal sign, we'll fix that. Y minus 6 is equal to, we know the slope, 10/3 times x minus 1. Okay? So y minus 6 is equal to, let's distribute here, 10/3 x minus 10/3. So now to combine like terms, we have to take this -6 and turn it into a fraction with a denominator of 3. Well, we know -6 is written fraction form out of 6 over 1. We just need to multiply by 3 over 3, and we'll get -18. It's true. So basically we're saying y minus 18 over 3 is equal to 10/3 x minus 10/3. And now we want to add 18/3 to both sides. What we'll get is y is equal to 10/3 x. And if we're adding 18/3 plus 8/3. So if we look at this, now we're in a form where we can do this. We have a y-intercept of 8/3, y-intercept 8/3, and we have a slope of 10/3. So we can go ahead and graph this line now. If we want to graph it, do this real quick. Here, move it here. So our y-intercept is 8/3. That's 2 2/3. So 1, 2, probably about here is our y-intercept. Okay.